right, everyone. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are watching from. And if you are watching on the VOD, hello. How are you? Welcome to the 35th episode of Morning Coins with John and Chaz. Chaz, how are you today?
Doing well, John. We've got an exciting program today. This is really, it's amazing how you never run out of material in this show. There is always somebody doing something.
For sure. We're doing iHouse today. I've never heard of it. And we have a special guest with us. And Jennifer, we just met. So it is Lob, just as it sounds?
That's correct.
Okay, cool. We have Jennifer Lob, and we're going to introduce her here in a minute. I just wanted you all to know that she was here. So if you guys are in the chat, say hello, and we will obviously bring it in our chat room, but also on air. And so, yeah, this is Morning Coins 35, and we talk about any platform, protocol, or project that is blockchain or cryptocurrency related. So you can come on in and join with us live as well. You see the call-in number down there, or just go to zoom.us and hit that room ID 468-186-430, and you can participate in the show live or come in and ask your questions live as well. So if you want to do that, that's fine. But in covering blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies, and investments, we have to let you know that we are not here to sell you anything. This is for information purposes only. So Chaz is going to read our disclaimer.
All right, so cryptocurrencies, futures, stocks, and options trading involves substantial loss of risk and are not suitable for every investor. The valuation of cryptocurrencies, futures, stocks, and options may fluctuate, and as a result, clients may lose more than their original investment. All investments discussed on this show are for informational purposes only and are not recommendations to buy or sell.
Amen. Thank you, sir. How are you today?
Good. I'm doing excellent.
So why don't you kick it off? You found the project, and we got a special guest in here, so I'm going to let you take it over.
We'll cover our links first. And we, of course, the first two are iHouse links. One is their website. The other is a short video that we're going to watch just in a little bit. Of course, my new favorite person to hate, Nouriel Roubini. He calls himself an economist, but he has obsessive compulsive blockchain disorder. He just hates it, and he never misses a chance. He's saying that blockchain outside of the U.S. or outside of any kind of central government will cease to exist.
Oh boy.
So, I put that article up there just so we can give him proper recognition for his work.
He likes centralization, Chaz. I mean, he's gonna.
It's his job, right?
Right.
His job is to be centralized, and if that goes away, he's going to go away. So he's defending his territory. Next link is BrickBlock, which is another blockchain real estate outfit. Maybe we'll cover that next show once I get a look at it closer. The next one after that, 20 years in jail for using BTC for ISIS.
Well, good. I like that headline.
There is some concern for anonymity.
Anonymity?
Yeah, there you go. Thanks.
You're welcome.
In the world with the movement of money, but even with that, this person was caught and will be spending time in jail.
Yeah, that's one thing about distributed ledger technology is it's an immutable public ledger. So if you have your name attached to anything, I mean, they can follow the transactions and they know who you are. So,
which obviously wasn't. There was no secrets there. She got tracked down, and she will be going to spend some time with bars in front of her. Crypto Forever. This is an article from Cointelegraph that just says that digital currencies are unequivocal and they're going to be around forever.
Of course.
Maybe not in their current form, but they'll be here.
Yeah, certainly. Certainly not.
In the white paper for iHouse, there was a reference to Seville's research, and I just put a link to their website in there so people can go check them out themselves.
Okay.
And this one I just got this morning. Vion shut down by court because their ICO was illegal, according to a Swiss court. So, and they had really good use case. They're trying to do mining, green mining using hydroelectric and solar power, but they fouled up and went afoul of the law, and now they're shut down.
Gotcha. I haven't heard of Envion.
That's the first time I've ever heard of it as well, and I'm sure there's a ton of other projects out there that we're going to discover that we've never heard of.
Yep.
It's all sensory overload for me.
That's all right.
We're trying to increase that sensory overload for you, guys.
We'll get once we get to the iHouse stuff, we'll dive in there. But speaking of though, we have Jennifer Lobb here, and and thank you for coming. This is you're from Real Living Tremaine Real Estate.
Yes.
And is that your website, realestate.com? Or is it reallivingtremainerealestate.com?
Reallivingtremainerealestate.com, but also jenniferlobb.com is my personal website.
Gotcha. Okay. And how long have you been in the commercial real estate business?
5 years.
Okay. Cool
I love
stuff.
it. Talk about obsessive compulsive. It's one of those things where I just live, eat, breathe. I wake up in the morning, first thing I do is start looking at properties online. I love it. I've always loved it.
Yeah. Cool stuff. Well, thanks for coming. So then, and the next one is the video for iHouse. So I'm going to broadcast that, and then we'll be right back. Just make sure I have it set up, guys.
www.i-house.com is a global real estate blockchain cloud platform. Our proprietary program, iHouse Token, is the first real estate protocol that was developed to serve the asset class. iHouse and IHT enable a new way of asset management. Mission and vision statement. Our mission is to enable every individual the opportunity to own and share their assets easily, and to benefit from the new model of the shared economy. Our vision is to create a trustworthy shared economy asset management ecosystem globally. Our values. Assets can be shared. Everyone can be the landlord of Airbnb. Everyone can be owners of WeWork. Transparency is the priority. Liquidity of the assets can be improved significantly with reduced transaction cost in the new world, the world with blockchain. Disruption of transactional process of assets acquisition and disposal. Why real estate market but not others? Global real estate market is huge, more than $200 trillion of asset worth. We look forward to help to leapfrog the evolution of the asset class with blockchain technology. What is the role of our platform? IHT is the blockchain enabler for asset owner and financial institution. We help every asset owner or asset manager to move your asset to blockchain. Why is it legal and workable? IHT will only partner with those licensed or regulated financial institutions for asset tokenization. What is the benefit for asset owners and financial institutions? A new way of fundraising. Significant improvement of liquidity. IHT supports the process of digitization of real estate ownership. IHT helps to reduce transaction hurdle, hence reduce transaction costs. Convenient asset transaction process. Information transparency. IHT can fragmentize large property rights to smaller portions and shorten the listing cycle. What's major countries or cities for IHT's target? We start from Asia, including Hong Kong, China, Japan, and Australia. We'll launch US in second half of 2018 and Europe in 2019. Contact us. Email, website, Telegram.
Okay, I take it the video's over. I can't see it. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so good overview, I think, of the program. It's in its expansion stages. Any thoughts on that, Jennifer, from you?
Well, I mean, how stable are they? If they're just getting started out,
New program, certainly. Big goals they have. If this is successful, what do you think? How is that going to impact you?
well, I'm just wondering how many different companies like iHouse are going to come out. And once again, it'll be sensory overload again. It's like, which one do you go to? Which one do you trust? For instance, we have a central place where we put our listings. It's, CoStar or LoopNet or the MLS, and it's always accurate and it's always up to date. And now with like Zillow and all these other sites coming in, they have properties on there, but not all of them are like up to date. So my concern is just the market's going to be flooded with all of these different types of companies like that doing the same type of thing. And it's like, which one do you trust?
Yeah,
I think the concept is really, really fascinating. And which cryptocurrency do they use? They use their own cryptocurrency. They use their own blockchain. I just want to get educated more on it so I understand it better, so I can find my place in this market and find my niche.
Sure. We're actually gonna cover some of those questions coming up in some of our slides here. And yes, you're right. This is a new way to look at the blockchain technology in the real estate markets. There's going to be shakeout. There always is. The winners are going to be the best platforms. It's just a matter of people are going to use what works for them.
Right.
And if you get, let's say you get 10 platforms out there that are doing real estate sales, there's going to be within those markets, there's going to be niches as well, right? So there's going to be somebody that's going to be handling real estate, residential. There's going to be commercial real estates of different sizes. Someone's going to come out and specialize in a certain area. So there's going to be some shakeout, and we've been seeing that in this market for quite a while in the blockchain industry in general. Everyone wants to get in, but not everyone's going to be successful.
Right.
One of the things I heard him talking about on the video and saw was tokenization of which I thought was interesting. It is in fact their own token that they're using, and this is a closed platform, which we'll see later. So It's not going to be open to everyone to see. But the people, and the reason I caught that was in their white paper, it was one word. It was transparency with authorization. So that means it's a people involved in the platform, involved in the real estate deals, are the ones that are going to be able to see what's going on in there. But go ahead.
I see. Well, there'll always be opportunity for the agent. I mean, because the initial purchase of the building, somebody has to help facilitate that and advise on that. You still need, a trusted advisor and expert facilitator to help with that. Maybe it'll be a different way. Maybe iHouse will have an in-house agent, something like that.
I think as we look at this, we're going to see what their plan is. But I wanted to read this first slide. It says, what is tokenization? A tokenized real estate asset is a building or other property that issues tokens or digital shares when someone invests in it with cryptocurrency. With Rick Block, which is the other one we had in the links, you invest in tokenized real estate assets with Ether, and when the asset is fully funded, the smart contract issues investors proof of asset tokens proportionate to the amount they invested. And we'll look at this a little bit closer, because now there's a way to crowdfund commercial real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So the slide after that, IHG has the following advantages. They make real estate investment downsizing dynamic and transparent. I'm not going to read every word of these things. The traditional real estate transactions are all on a large scale. The problem is more serious when encountering large offices, shopping centers, hotels, which require unified management to maintain the highest value. Big projects require a lot of different parties to be involved in it in order for it to work. I used to do real estate commercial loans at one point on small scale, and I tell you, some of the stuff you have to jump through, environmentals and all the other stuff that goes on, and titles, making sure your title is clear. So it's a very complex deal. They're trying to make this whole process easy by digitizing everything and opening up the markets, which we're going to see later. They're going to try and open up markets that a lot of people just simply do not have access to. And here's the third one, is information transparency. And so they're going to show you what's going on. There's going to be an open book to the parties involved, so you can see all the aspects of it. Because let's face it, if you're on one side of the deal and you're the seller, and the buyer's got his set of things that he's doing, and the buyer and the buyer has their set, you don't get to see everything on both sides. You see the end contract. We have a deal, sign here, right? So this is going to open up both sides. So, and I'm wondering how the impact of that is going to.
Well, that was what I was going to ask Jennifer, is when you hear that, the information transparency on both sides, how does that make you kind of respond? And then after that, we got some chat stuff coming in too.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Well, like you were talking about environmentals, the first thing that they do, that the title company does a search, and they go way back. And I just had a guy who bought and sold a building, and he got a title policy, and when he went to sell the building, there was $100,000 lien on it. And it's like, well, how did this happen? So he went back to the title company that he got the insurance from, and they covered it. He was covered. So are they going to be able to catch those things? That's one of my concerns.
Mm-hmm.
And then the phase 2 is when they do the soil to check for any toxic things, and like if there was a laundromat there,
exactly what I was thinking.
Right? Yeah, right. And or a gas station, is there gas tanks underneath the ground? And then the other thing I was thinking about was, when you have tenants in a building, they just don't take care of it as nicely as somebody who owns it. Somebody who owns a property, they take pride in ownership and they take really good care of it. So if people are owning things in portions, who's taking care of it?
Yeah.
But then on the other side of the token, there's so much opportunity here. I see opportunity for philanthropy. I mean, there's so many homeless people, and there's so many people out there with so much money they don't know what to do with it. If there's a crowdfunding, if they pool it together this way, they could build a whole building in Flint and do something philanthropic, And then the other thing I was thinking about that would be really neat is just the novelty of it. Imagine owning a piece of the Empire State Building. I mean, give somebody a gift, that somebody who has everything, what do you give them? A piece of the Empire State Building, just for the novelty of it. A piece of the Brooklyn Bridge, a piece of the London Bridge. I mean, something that maybe doesn't even have any value, but just the novelty of it. That's a really cool opportunity, I think.
Great. Good perspective on that. Yeah, and you're right. I mean, who's going to handle the management of those research parts of it, the title, the environmentals, and things like that? There has to be, and I think what their plan is to have a local authority or local people take care of that. Local companies take care of wherever the property is, and
Right.
then meet their certifications. But like you said, there was somebody did a title search, and then all of a sudden $100,000 lien popped up that no one knew about.
Right.
That's crazy.
I know it is. And we have a lot of opportunity here with the dispensaries now. I have a deal pending in Flint, you know, with a dispensary, and there could be a lot of investment opportunity in our area. And being liquid, like you said, could really help our community.
I like that. Well, I also like that there's going to be dispensaries in Michigan. I'm
Yeah,
proud of you guys. Ohio isn't even close to being that progressive.
What, really, we should get on Steaming File and talk about this, but the whole thing is just that it was due, and now that we had all the people saying, "Oh no, it's the end of the world," but now we have the politicians going, "Tax dollars."
Oh, sure. We got a couple people watching, and we have two very active chatters, Sharon and Frank Bacon. Sharon's he's watching and learning, kind of like I am, because neither of us really know anything about commercial real estate or the market. Frank has done some research in real estate information technology and things like that. So um, Frank says the best platform is a robust network. He also isn't real sure about this project. Said he's seen hundreds of projects like this since 2014. Sharon says it's an interesting model and he's intrigued. Frank is concerned that this might be vaporware, but he just also put in something around REIT. He said there's a DAC. It's a new form of organization model, a microscopic governance model where assets are purchased and recorded on a immutable digital ledger, for the purpose of efficiently utilizing real estate holdings for immediate development and production of dividend income for owners. And I think that goes back to kind of what this project is as well. So everyone's trying to claim that space. The question is, which one's going to be first to market to do it?
Right.
And will they have the tech and the platform to back it up?
Yes.
Exactly.
iHouse is, I think they're going to use in some of their projects, because there's a lot of different levels to this, real estate investment trusts as a model for some of their projects. And I've been in REITs before, and I like them. Gives you an opportunity. It makes the ability to liquidate your holdings a lot easier. And so I think that's a great model. But you're right. It's we don't know how this is going to shake out. I mean, there's going to be a fight for territory, and we're going to see who actually wins.
Yeah.
I think they're ahead of their time. I think that they have a great website. It's easy to navigate. I like their logo. Just simple marketing can make a big difference. It's a great logo.
Yeah. That is one of the most important things is that the interface with the people that are going to use your project has to be easy. It cannot be too complex, right? You shouldn't have to be a computer programmer to use a web platform.
Right. So real estate investment trust is kind of what these guys are doing as well, right? But it's also a thing, right? They currently exist. Is that correct?
Yes, they do exist. But they have different levels of investment. We're going to take a look at a couple of those coming up here in some of the slides.
Okay.
Actually, we can skip the protocol as a service slide and the blockchain as a service slide. I just put those in there for clarification if someone had any questions.
Okay.
And
we're looking at the closed blockchain graphic right now.
Yeah, and what I'm going to do is I have that actually set up on the white paper set up here so I can look at it. So you can see there's how it's a closed system. There's the asset owners, the IHT platform, and then the financial institution that they have to interface with. And I put this flow chart on here. This is right out of their white paper. And let me find my cursor here. My cursor disappeared. I hate it when that happens. All right, arrows work. Just down at the bottom, the asset can be split into many parts and released on IHT platform, and then underwriting by financial institutions. One asset of Wanda is split into 99 shares. So, yeah, so what they can do is they can split the asset up, get more investors involved in it. And Jennifer, one of the things that I was thinking about this, and I wanted your input on it, was if all of a sudden this closed market is open to lots of people, what do you think is going to happen with prices?
There's a couple different thoughts that come to mind. And the first is that location. If I took a building in, Pontiac and I moved it to Southern California, it would suddenly be worth a lot more money. So there's always the location that dictates value. But at the same time, if there's more money available, I believe that there's more opportunity to build or improve real estate.
So on the question of supply and demand, so we have this, and we'll see later in one of their charts, sort of a locked up supply of real estate that all of a sudden comes to the market, but we've also opened up the buyer side to more people. And so hopefully it'll balance out. We won't see drastic shifts in prices of real estate. But that was my thing. If we open up all this real estate and there's more real estate than there is, people to buy it, we could see a downslide in prices.
Right. And then, well, as we know, there's only so much real estate that goes around. It's a finite amount. But I mean, look at Las Vegas. They built Las Vegas in the middle of the desert. There might be more opportunities to develop areas that basically have nothing, like Orlando. Look at Disney in the middle of Florida. Yes. There might be more opportunities for people to crowd fund and fund these big operations, these big investments.
So could it also be possible to do that in underdeveloped countries?
I believe so. But then there's the thing about the thought that, what am I really buying? Am I buying a bridge to nowhere? Am I buying a big, skyrise? Am I buying a portion of a skyrise building that's not occupied? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just that fear.
Yeah, you're going to need a third party involved in that to make sure that you're not buying an empty shell or, like you said, the bridge to nowhere. Or here's a thought too. What if people could get together and buy up a property and build their own city? If you had enough investors, you could build your own city and move into it.
Well, I have a friend who wants to do just that, but it's a different type of community. She and a lot of people across the states have this philosophy where they want to build a community that's like self-sustained, and they have tiny houses and they have shared areas where they'll share the kitchens and they grow their own food. So there's an opportunity for whole new microcosms.
Yes. All of this can happen through the use of a real estate platform. Someone could design a platform specifically for that. Here's all these groups of people. Pick your group that you are most interested in and be a part of that group and build your own city.
Frank Bacon recommends Bitland as another example of a platform, and he also wants to use Steemit to take over a city. So if you don't know that, so So Jennifer, we're broadcasting on Vim TV, and they run or are partnered with the Steam blockchain, which is it's a blogging and social media site for people, and it's runs on the cryptocurrency Steam. So he said, stay tuned for his crappy fiction on Steam it and find out if he can use it to take over a county or a city.
Interesting. World domination by Steam.
It's more like world domination by Frank Bacon.
Yes, Frank, I'm with you, man. Let's take over. So next slide for me, guy. Can you move it?
Yes, sir.
The timeline. So everybody's got to have a timeline, which, you know, we have seen some projects that really don't have a timeline. They have goals, but there's no times associated with them. So I think it's important that we have these time goals as well. And so we can see their goals here. I'm particularly interested in when they're getting the USA involved. So they should be starting to get involved in USA now. I think, Jennifer, you saw an American representative.
Yes. He's like chief strategy officer or something like that. I saw it on YouTube. Can't remember his name now. I had it written down. And he spoke eloquently, and you could tell he obviously loves what he does. And it's nice to see that they have an office in California.
I think the enthusiasm is important. And I was just sitting here looking at the 2019 Q4 quarter four goal, and I'm thinking here. So we're going to get worldwide investment. If this is successful, we'll have worldwide investment in real estate by people that normally wouldn't get involved in it. And I wonder how that's going to affect the social political landscape on this, because all of a sudden people have an interest in China, people have an interest in USA that don't live there. And so it's going to change things politically, I think. I mean, there's an undertow here that, you know, that's going on.
Absolutely.
And I've said in the past that, you know, I've made the suggestion that maybe the blockchain could replace normal government.
Anything to replace normal government would be fine with me. Blockchain, people, participation, I don't know. But yeah, anything. I think it will, right? I think that's the point, right? We come in here and we explore these platforms and these problems and things like that, and we can't predict the future, but we can help create the future. That's I think the point. And so people get involved with projects and platforms and protocols that they feel passionate about, and you just work within there, and time and tech and things like that are going to happen. I think the better that we can all be connected and help people explore some of these things and figure things out, the better off we all will be. So it's interesting.
Yes, and I think it's going to, I think, in my opinion, is it's going to bring people together and not separate people.
Well, the social media and the internet has compressed time and space, and suddenly the world is a smaller place.
For sure. It really is. Frank says blockchains can replace government and should. All caps.
Wow. Well, there we go. Revolutionary, right with us here. So it's an interesting concept, though. And there'll, of course, be a battle to maintain control. There always is in the change of the guard. So we'll see what happens with that. Next slide, John, is the ecosystem design. So this gets more into, you know, how the platform is going to function. It's just I think it's a good graphic. I know we've seen some graphics that are quite crappy, but this one really says it, that the assets are put on the IHT platform, and then through the financial institutions, the users get access. And so they're going to use IHT uses its own smart contract and distributed account technology to connect the asset side and the financial institution side. and it could be split and distributed to multiple financial institutions. Here's another one that normally doesn't happen. I mean, it happens behind the scenes. Jennifer, I think you probably are familiar with that, more familiar than I am, but there can be multiple correspondent banks backing up a single project.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not a new concept. I know that I've been through some liquidations of businesses before, and I've seen that they had to sell things, and I've seen that there's more than one bank involved in the actual underwriting of the commercial loans. So this not a new concept, but I think multiple users are maybe a new part of that. Any feeling on that yourself?
I don't even know what a smart contract is.
That's a good point. That's a blockchain term or a term that's used within platforms. A smart contract is the idea that there's code or there is a piece that's already written within the platform where you know what both sides are bringing to the table, and it's agreed upon by the way it's set up. And so I don't even know if I'm explaining it right, and I would bet that there are a couple people on here watching right now that can explain it better than me. But basically, it takes trust out of the equation because it's transparent. Both people can see. It's kind of like what we talked about in the beginning, where it's transparent. Both people can see what they're bringing to the table, and it's a contract that can. A smart contract. It says a smart contract is a contract that can tie its own shoes.
Yeah.
So basically, you know what you're bringing into the table, and through the platform or through the technology, it gets transacted or it gets agreed to. And as long as both things are met on both sides, then the transaction processes.
It's like a
Okay.
uniform commercial contract. It's uniform. Both parties knows what it says, and certain parts of it have to be fulfilled before it can be completed.
There's other variables though. My only concern is if you're buying a piece of a building in a place that you can't visit, how do you know about the dilapidated, burned down building that's next door? That kind of thing.
Yeah, you would. I would assume, and this is what I would do. I'd get on Google and drive down the street.
Yeah, you could do Google Earth, right?
Yeah, and you can check out the other properties. I mean, the resources are just unlimited on how you can check something out somewhere. Now, I know there's places that would be difficult to do. If you're in Nepal, you might not be able to see the building you're buying, but there may not be a Google car driving down the street. But I think on a larger scale in the more metropolitan areas that we would probably be able to see those properties and check them out ourselves.
And my other thinking is that the seller might have to have had all of that stuff uploaded to the platform beforehand or as part of the listing process. Harfat says it's a contract that was coded to self-execute when certain programmatic conditions are met.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Always like our chat guys coming in, chat people, and helping us out.
Yeah, and the chat's showing up on the broadcast as well, so people on the VOD can see it.
Excellent. That's what we want, participation. So the next slide, close to Jennifer's heart there, commercial asset. And IHT platform, you just load it up, and then you have members. So there's no financial institutions in this particular graphic. It just goes right to the ledger, and IHT tokenizes it, and then you can make your investments. So this would be more the real estate investment trust type platform.
It's exciting and scary at the same time.
Oh yes.
But there's like this big elephant in the room and nobody's talking about it. And I don't know why they're not talking about it,
Yeah.
Wait, what's the elephant?
How things are changing.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Yes.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're fine.
Yeah, there is. The elephant's coming though, and it's probably the train with the light at the end of the tunnel, and people better wake up because the world is changing.
It certainly is. I'm utilizing artificial intelligence. I know I have a program called Remine, or software called Remine, and I can use it anywhere and navigate on a map through this software and find out who's most likely to sell a property within the next 0 to 6 months, 6 months to a year, 1 to 2 years. And I tested it out. I just looked in my neighborhood and I called down the block. One house that I also do lakefront residential real estate. And I called one of my neighbors and I said, hey, just calling and letting you know that I specialize in waterfront real estate and wanting to know if you're ever considering to sell your house or whatever. Oh, actually, yeah. And it worked. It worked. What it is, Big Brother's watching. They're always watching. They're selling all that information that you're putting out there. And they sold it to me, and I found out because he's looking online, what's my house worth? And
wow.
Yeah, it's really, really fascinating and a little bit scary too.
So you put that together with iHouse, and all of a sudden you can tap into these markets, and that's what the next slide is about. It's about the uneven distribution of real estate in the world. The Western countries really account for a lot more of the per capita real estate than other countries as far as availability. And so as we were talking earlier, Jennifer, about that, all of a sudden, all this real estate becomes available to other people in the world, let's say just, other developed countries, all of a sudden people are going to start buying this, and it's going to change the landscape of, how it's done. And we were talking also about, wow, which way is it going to go? Is the market prices going up or down? And I of course, everything fluctuates, but, looking at, let me just wheel over here real quick. So per capita, the Western countries have a more per capita for the world's real estate. In North America, for example, let me see, I'm having trouble reading this, bear with me, accounts for only 5% of the world's population, but 21% of the residential property. So there's, according, this is that Savel's research site came up with this. So there's an unbalanced amount of property ownership in the world. And would that help people in countries, let's say third world countries, that don't have the ability to buy a property? All of a sudden now they can buy a property and create their own city?
It sounds like a good concept, but then there's all the different laws in other countries. How will that affect it?
Yeah, there's going to have to be some kind of push to, and apparently iHouse is working within the current frameworks of the countries that they're using or they're involved in. So there must be a way to move into other countries and help with and who knows, they may get involved in changing the laws.
I think they would have to. I also think that this is all, like you said earlier, I don't know if we can stress that enough, is that we're all going to be having to go through some massive global changes soon. And I don't know how much laws will really come into play, more so than the governments and agencies will just more be, it's hard to even put into words because you don't even know what it's going to look like. But like the laws will, you're right, they're definitely going to have to change. I thought I was going to say something more profound than I did, and so I'm just going to stop.
No, John, that's good. Keep
Because
going,
it's
man.
well, because it's just like it's gonna everything is gonna massively change, and the point is what's gonna be the catalyst to make that happen? Is it gonna be a good or bad catalyst? And then you'll see it unfold. But I think that from what I remember from the timeline is that I'm not sure where these guys are based out of, but they do have, like you said, they're looking at the global market and not just focused on one specific area.
I think they're from Hong Kong. So
Okay.
they're, I think they're great. It's a great platform, at least conceptually. We'll see how it pans out over the long haul. Maybe if we do a recap next year of some of our coins or some of our projects, we can look at them again and see how they're doing.
For sure.
So this company is on, like if you wanted to say invest in this company, are they on some sort of exchange?
They are, as far as I know, they don't have a token listed. Their tokens are inside their platform, and you use them for buying and selling.
Okay, so it's like its own microcosm.
Right. The closed blockchain.
Right.
And we have that token. I have the token slide up right now.
Okay, so iHouse Asset Management Platform is under the iHouse.com project. The assets which have been tokenized by IHT will be hosted by iHouse.com digital assets management platform and be transformed into sharing economy assets. I believe they said the transactions, in the white paper, they said the transactions will all be completed in the local fiat currency.
Local
For wherever the property is, I would bet.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I lost the slides. I don't know what happened.
I took them away from you.
Oh, okay. I was like,
I just stopped sharing for a minute to change the scene up a little bit.
oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I just thought that something went wrong on my screen.
Nope.
No, John's proclivity for crashing the system has not happened.
So does iHouse, do they have any properties now? Do they have any users?
Yes, they're active right now. And I didn't see, I'd have to go back and see what countries they're active in. But they are active right now. Let me go through the timeline real quick here. So in Q4, they expanded their markets to US, Australia, and Europe. So that is their opening markets that they'll be involved in. That's big. That's, I mean, you're talking some big, economically, some big markets there.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be adding more later, so.
Gosh,
All right.
the banks could utilize this platform for foreclosures.
Yes.
I mean,
see, you just gave them an exit strategy. If they fail at their first mission, they can just turn into like I foreclose.
Yeah, there you go.
So let's shill universal basic income.
Okay, so this is one of our projects that we're working on. Recently, there's some good news that Manna Universal Basic Income, which supplies anyone that wants to sign up that can prove they're a person, a weekly income. You get a weekly deposit to your account, but they've now opened up children's accounts. You can open up accounts for children on Manna, and they will supply you with a weekly deposit to the account. And what we've been experiencing, and this is my account that I'm showing here. So I have 297 Manna in my account, which doesn't amount to much. You know, it's less than $1. But if the value of the currency goes up, then we will be we're doing quite well. But John and I have dedicated our Manna to go to children in refugee camps. And as soon as that project opens up for us, we're going to donate our money to that. So they were currently in the process of opening up the accounts for the children in refugee camps. And when that gets underway, then we'll be able to donate our funds. So weekly income, it's not a government-sponsored program. It's not a Ponzi scheme. It is, in fact, a way to get income on a weekly basis.
Yep, and they market strictly through direct marketing. They do have a person on Steemit. They do have an account on Steemit and post regularly there as well. We did an episode with them a couple months ago, and so they have a good team over there. Really believe in their universal basic income project, and they're doing good work. And also, they are a certified nonprofit in the United States. So when you do put money in through them, it is considered a donation or a charitable donation. As far as I'll just give a point for our slides. If you're watching on Steam or watching on Vim, you kind of have to, on Vim, you have to copy and paste. If you look at it on Steemit or SteamPeak or any other interface for Steam, you can click on that link for the slides for the show and go and use our referral links to sign up. But also, just a reference to follow Charles on Steam. It's at crollo3, and do that as well, because you're the one that really puts these together. You do a great job at doing that, and all of our slides for all of our shows, if you find our other shows, all these slides are available for you guys to use, look at, review, da-da-da-da-da. So, Charles, thanks for putting these together, and yeah, you guys can sign up for Mannabase if you choose.
Yeah, and when they do that, if they use one of our links, they will get us a doubled up amount of Mannabase that we can give. So it actually sort of goes exponential if you do it that way.
Yep.
And we will be able to give more money to those children.
Cool stuff, Chaz. Thank you.
Okay. So we're back to this.
I'm going to share this since it's a good smart contract slide.
Yeah, I think it does it justice.
Let's see if it does. See if it helps. Go ahead.
It's coming.
You can't see it yet?
Not yet. Oh, there it is. There it is.
So I just put this graphic up there just for a picture of what is going into their smart contracts, transactions, events. So maybe, Jennifer, the events part, sending information, might include your phase 2 environmentals. Because someone locally is going to have to do that. I mean, you're not going to fly someone, from Michigan out to real estate or out to a piece of real estate in Europe just to do an environmental study.
Right.
And so those go into the contract. When it comes out the other side, transactions, they send the value from the contract and sending information. So you'll have those two parts involved in the contract. And it's replicated on a shared ledger, which we know is a closed blockchain platform. You have to have authorization to see this.
It makes sense on a screen. But
Does it work?
it's always
the devil's in the details.
What if this, if this, then that type of thing.
Yes, yeah. Hopefully when they put these smart contracts together, which has been a problem for some people, that smart contracts basically were a yes or no proposition. But what if there's more than one outcome or more than one input, and how does that affect it? And I think they're working on that to get that done.
Yep.
But we have a team that's all behind all of this. And this is just some of the team here. I did not get a chance. I did watch a a video with Ricky Ng, and then he was speaking with someone at a blockchain conference. It was pretty good. But these are some of the people. There's a lot more than this. I just wanted to put up the first 3 of their list. All can be seen in their white paper.
What am I going to ask you? What question am I going to ask you?
Did you look at LinkedIn?
Are they on LinkedIn?
I don't know.
Oh, you didn't look.
I think I just followed that chief strategy officer on LinkedIn, actually.
Everyone follow Frank Bacon on LinkedIn too.
His name is escaping me. Oh.
Well, see,
But yeah, he's
All
on
right.
LinkedIn.
Okay.
That strategy person is on LinkedIn.
Cool. I think that's important. Not necessarily to, like, if you're on LinkedIn, that means that you're super legit, but more. I think it's more confidence building than Facebook or
right. It's the business social media
right
platform. It's all about business. Now, how do I see who I just followed? If only I could navigate through it.
So this is the background of all of these people, or of everyone on the team?
Of the team in general.
Okay.
So I did a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Team and investors. Right.
Yeah. So we do have some background, and we noticed that there's a lot of Asian companies in there, which is where they're from, so you would expect that. But also Microsoft and Yahoo and Morgan Stanley.
That's great.
I think your associations say a lot about your competencies, because let's face it, Microsoft's not gonna. Well, these are team backgrounds, so these are their career path has been through some significant companies. Morgan Stanley is, of course, I feel that's important. You have a great idea of what the financials are, financial and economic potential is. So I think that says a lot about these guys. And then their investors are important too. So it's time for shameless self-promotion.
Uh-oh.
I have, this is my project. It's called 19 South. Actually, it's the 8 MP project, but 19 South is part of it. And it is a project to help budding filmmakers start their careers. What we're going to do is we're going to get people who simply only have an iPhone or a small all-purpose camera, and they're going to make movies, and we're going to promote those movies, and we're going to have a little contest and pick the best ones. But the potential here is that they'll get some recognition for their work, and hopefully get some backers and promote their work. And what I need is, from the people on Steemit and other places that are seeing this, is I need some positive feedback on the project itself. So if you visit this website on the Acorn Collective and give me some positive feedback, it's going to help the project get off the ground. Because we're coming up to D-Day here, and where they're going to start the project, and I'm hoping they'll move me forward on this. Well, I need feedback terribly bad because I'm not getting a lot of it. So,
one avenue that I would suggest is using your phone, if you have one, and recording a video and uploading it to DTube.
DTube?
Yeah, DTube is a decentralized video sharing platform similar to YouTube that runs on the Steem blockchain. That community over there, Chaz, will, I would assume, respond well to this invite.
Okay, I'll do it.
So is this worldwide for people to submit their films that they create on their phones?
I'm not going to limit that to anyone who wants to do this to jump in, because we want to help these people that are potentially very talented but don't have an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that's been a big part of my life. Is I spent many years in the cubicle syndrome in banking, and I had no outlet for my creativity. I mean, they stifle creativity in the financial industry. So now I can do this stuff. So now I can create posters. Now I can create videos. Now I can do all this stuff, and I want other people to have that same opportunity.
That's fabulous.
Now it's your turn, John.
You say John or
Do I have any?
You have some self-promotion here.
I have. Oh, I do. Get Steam on get Steam on Coinbase, and so if you guys, I would assume that the people watching already have Coinbase or already have their opinions on Coinbase. But if you're watching the VOD and you guys click on one of our links here from the slides and invest $100 with Coinbase, you get $10 in Bitcoin for free, and so do we. So depending on the host that you like, you can click on that name, start a Coinbase account, put in $100, buy the cryptocurrency of your choice, and we both get $10 in Bitcoin. So make sure you do that.
Right, and Coinbase is adding coins regularly now. So
Yeah, Basic Attention Token is on there now, and Zcash. So they're moving on up. BTC bottom.
yeah, are we at the bottom?
We do a little technical analysis. You tell me if we're at the bottom. I don't know.
Okay,
I think
so
it's a buy. I think it's a buyer's market right now.
Okay, well, there you do have an opinion. So, looking at the three indicators at the bottom, the yellow line first is on balance volume, which means money is flowing
Hey, Chaz,
out.
1 second. Let me because I want to share it so Jennifer can see it as well.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, sorry everyone. Just doing a quick share so Jennifer can see it, and then get the camera set, and we'll be good to go. All right, go ahead, sir. Sorry.
Can you see it, Jennifer?
Not yet.
Okay, I'm going to wait for it to pop up.
There it is.
Okay, so the yellow line. So we're looking at a chart of Bitcoin, and this is a weekly chart. So each one of those candles represents a weekly price range. And we see that on the yellow line, which is on balance volume, money flowing out of Bitcoin. That's what the downtrend line means. So there's one aspect that we see people are actually jumping out. The second grouping is what they commonly refer to as MACD, or moving average convergence divergence. The blue line is, they call it the fast line, means that it's looking at shorter time periods. The red line is the slow line, looking at longer periods. When the blue line crosses below the red line, there's indication there that we may be at a low point in the price range. And so
that's where we are.
Go ahead.
It looks like that's where we are.
Yes. Well, and the green line is relative strength index on it, and that is absolutely, I mean, it's right at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And that indicates also that we're already oversold the Bitcoin, which John was saying it's a buyer's market. I think there's opportunity here. I would wait a little bit longer. I like to see things turn before you go into it, get a good strong uptick, and then that would be a time that I might be looking at it. But again, my favorite thing to say is do your homework.
Meaning you think that it might still go lower before it really turns back up.
I think there's a distinct possibility that could happen. So I would like to see the candles move up a couple ticks on a longer time frame before I would jump in. Let's face it, do we ever get the exact bottom? No. It doesn't happen very often. If we do, it's a fluke. Do we ever sell at the exact top? Probably not. But so, I'd like to see the Bitcoin turn and make a significant turn in the upward direction before I would get in.
Gotcha. I don't know how to take that news.
It's wait. You know how they say, wait for it, wait for it.
Frank says that he thinks this is the bottom. Harvat says there's support at 1,000. He's sure, in all caps.
Okay. Well, so one's a buyer, and the other one's waiting. The other one's a waiter. So.
Yeah.
So can't you just invest a little and then?
Right. That's what I'm talking about. Get a little today, then it goes down. Get a little more.
Right. Exactly.
I don't know.
Cost averaging is an option.
Then if it goes to 1,000, get it today. That's not that good.
Yeah. So you hold off half your funds, and when it hits 1,000, you get in again.
Again.
Lower average cost.
And everyone should get it and go and trade it for Steam.
And we'll have to see, John, if your Christmas money theory works.
I'm telling you, it's gonna. People get money for Christmas, and everyone wants to. All the young people like to buy crypto.
And then they get their bills a month after Christmas.
And they sell the crypto.
Right.
Frank says for sure this is the bottom. He says go with plan A. Harvat says yes, average out your buys. And Frank says plan B, dollar cost average.
Yes.
Jennifer, thank you so much for being on here. It was great to have like an expert perspective when we're tackling blockchains and platforms that are trying to claim spaces. It's cool to have that expert perspective to bring that in. I wouldn't have been able to do it justice, and you did great.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you. My pleasure.
So that was the episode, you guys. Awesome engagement from the chat. Harv, Frank, Sharon, thank you so much for tuning in and checking out the whole show. We really appreciate it. Any ideas that you guys have for future projects that you want us to cover, just shoot me a thing in Discord or hit me up on the steaming pile, and we can do that. You guys can always come in and chat live. Like I said in the chat, you know, we gotta keep it focused on the platform here and stuff like that, but we can go where you guys want to take it. So again, thanks for tuning in. Any closing words from you, Chas or Jennifer, as we're heading out?
Again, just my thing is you do your homework. We're not experts on the blockchain, but we're trying to do exploration. We're exploring the blockchain, and anybody who wants to send us a project to do, we're open.
Have you explored Big Token?
I have not, but we can.
That would be great. I invested in this company called Strax, and one of their, what do they call it, verticals is Big Token. It's a blockchain platform where you can own, verify, and sell your own data. You know, that they're gathering our data and selling it, and we get nothing. Well, this is the platform that will allow you to get paid for the data that you produce. So I'm doing I'm testing they're beta testing the app right now, and they're having a contest, and the winners, there's 3 winners. First place gets 5 Bitcoin, second place gets 2 Bitcoin, and the third place gets 1 Bitcoin. I've been on the leaderboard. I'm at 5 right now.
Oh man.
I'm up there.
How can we help you? What can we do to help you?
Well, I can send you a link, and
Okay.
you can join, and it would be like under my stream. And then how you get points is you do the same thing, get other people to join, and you get points for that, and you get points for points that they earn. you get points for checking in at places. You get points for answering questions, and you get points for giving feedback. You get points for sharing videos. So I don't know if I can type on this thing, but I can give you a link where you can join and be a beta tester, and that would help me.
Okay, yeah, just email us the link.
Yes.
Okay. All right, they sent me one of these coins.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's not like a, you know.
That is not a Bitcoin.
No, it's big token. See, I like
That
their
is a
logo
big
too.
token.
They got a really cool logo. It's like a B and a T, but it's cool how it doesn't read from like left to right. It's like backwards, so it's kind of universal. But at the same time, to me, it also looks like
Anchor.
an anchor. So like surfing the internet, you surf the internet. That's just my philosophy. I have no idea if that was intentional. I don't know. I wonder.
I don't know.
But yeah, I'll definitely send you that link.
All right, cool.
Check it out.
Jennifer Lobb, everybody, doing her own shameless self-promotion on Morning Coins with John and Chaz. If you guys have and or want to do any of that, just get in touch with at CRollo3 or myself at John Spalding on Steam. And we will see you all next Friday. Do we know what we're doing yet?
No, I have no clue.
We have no clue, but like we say in the community, anything can happen in the blockchain space. There's always stuff to cover. So we'll see you all next Friday on Morning Coins with John and Chaz.
Awesome show today, John. And Jennifer, thank you so much for being on the show with us.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
You're welcome to come back.
And we'll get I'll get the VOD loaded ASAP and send it to everybody. So
Cool.
have a good one, everyone. See you later.
Thank you. Bye.